Hey, how's it going? So I'm going to run you through my editing cycle. I'll do a document that does a step by step that goes along with this too. This should give you an idea of how I work through from import all the way through to export for proofs. And it's a pretty easy workflow. Use Capture One and Evoto for final images. Um, Lightroom will work, but I like Evoto for the style that I go for. I prefer Capture One because of skin tones and the color profiles. So you'll see before and afters in here. But to start it off, the first thing I do is import and then I batch rename everything. The template for renaming goes, so if you select them all, right click, batch rename, template goes like that. It's the date, 29 November 25, the subject's name, and this is Travis Selesky. And then the digit counter, which is a 4-digit counter, and I always start it at 1001, so that way it keeps everything in order, so 1001. And then Selesky Senior, so that's the job, and I hit rename. So it'll go through, it renames everything, puts them in order. It'll take just a minute to do that. This little guy's running over here. And then the next thing that I do is add the metadata to it. And in Capture One, the way to add metadata is you start with one, you start with the top one, and then I have a preset for JHR seniors, and it's over here. I don't want that, I want this one. I don't know if it'll zoom in on this or not. But if you go to JHR seniors, and then we fill in the information over here. So on this side, so for example, this is Travis Selesky, class 2026, Clarksville. So he was West Creek, senior photo shoot, class 2026. 2026 senior by JHR Photography, LLC, Clarksville. So just some searchable information that goes in there. Senior portraits. This was downtown Clarksville. Travis Ski Senior portrait. So just fill all of this in. It's pretty basic. And then up here you go, we can do keywords. So senior photos, senior photographer, Nashville photographer, senior year, JHR photos. We were not on Broadway. We were not in Nashville. So you can take those off. We were in Clarksville. Natural light. Class of 2026. You can add in some tags here that would be good for searches, like hashtag type information as well. He was West Creek Coyotes. And so plug those in and then save it. So you save custom preset, which is a little hamburger there. We're going to say, oh, I don't want to do that. Cancel out of there. We're going to save the keywords and the metadata. So you come down to this bottom one, the metadata, and you do save custom preset. And then it gives you the option to include on the metadata. You can keep all of the keywords, the ratings, all of that, and it saves it. It'll ask you for the name, and this can be JHR Seniors 2026. So we'll save that. Once it goes, then you can go back through and select all of them, and you can apply JHR Seniors 2026, and it will put that metadata on everything. So that way, all of the images are now prepped with the naming and the metadata, so we can start culling through them. This will take just a second. The way that I cull through images is using red and green. So green is good, red is bad. I've got shortcut keys for that, and I do one pass with reds and greens, and then I do another pass with 3s and 5s. So 5 green is something we're keeping, something that we're going to give to the client. 3s are, say we have 2 pictures, 5 is the best one, 3 is the other one, so it gets thrown out if they're very similar pictures. So it's really 2 passes that go through. And I'm sure you have a similar process with Lightroom. But we go through 3s and 5s. You can see all the greens. Well, I've got them filtered here. Oh, man, I just goofed on that. Oh, it copied everything forward. Oh, that's bad. Now I've got to refilter everything because it copied the tags forward. Oh, that sucks. So I need to go back through and redo all of these 4 3s and 5s. Oh, that sucks. So that's going to be a 5. That's a 3. I can't tell. If I did not edit it, then it's a 3. So I'll go back through here. I need to look and see which ones were adjusted because, yeah, so see how that one's adjusted. So if I go through and look at them, I can see which ones are which. But 3s and 5s, I won't know. So I'm not going to do that right now. Because luckily what I did is I output the proofs already. So if I go back into my folder structure here for Travis, output, here are all the proofs. They're just not named correctly. But they are there. So these are all the proofs from the shoot that I edited up. So these will go to the client. I'll match these up so I have the names correctly. But once I go through and do the 3s and 5s and get the edits that I want, then I come back through and I do my adjustments. So I will oh, let me see. That was wrong. I will go back through and adjust the colors, adjust the tones, make sure nothing's blown out. I applied a couple presets that I have for styles to get the tonality that I want, like for the fall colors. So I do a quick touch up on these inside of Capture One, and then I export them to JPEGs for the family to proof. And that's how they will select their proofs. And then once we're ready to edit, like actually edit, then I will grab whichever ones they select. So they tell me which ones they select from the proofs. We will export those as TIFF files and put those into Evoto. So let me grab a couple here. I want to get to the car photos. So I'm just going through and I can see which ones were retouched, so I know which ones to mark green. Let me see. Maybe not. Maybe these did not get retouched. There it is. So let's say we want to work on, let me get a good one. So once we have our selections, like our actual selections that we want to fully retouch, let me get, there's one that I really wanted to do, like this one here. So this one is one of the ones that he's going to really want. For sure, we're going to export this as a TIFF file because that seems to work the best inside of Evoto. And so you set it to export out of Capture One. You hit the export button, and then you've got recipes. So I'm going to export this TIFF as a print 300 DPI. We're going to tell it where to go, and I'm going to choose the event folder, which is, they're always set up out of Capture One is always set up the same when you make this session. So you've got an output folder. I'm going to make a TIFF folder. And so proofs or JPEGs, they will go in there. TIFFs will go in here. Those are going to go to the edit phase. You can leave pretty much everything here. Adjustments, uncompressed. At 55% of the size of the TIFF, it's still 75 megabytes. So this is a huge file. So we're going to export that one. So we've got one to work with. And then I'm going to go down. I'm going to grab one from, these ones were really cool too. Let me see, where was it at? There's one that he'd really like. It was a close up here. Make sure I get the right one here. There it is. So I like film finishes, so that's why it has a little bit of a different texture to it. So I put a film texture to it. And color grade, so we're going to export this one to a TIFF also. And then I'm going to grab one more so you can see how it applies across there. Grab one of the portraits from down here. Let me see. We'll grab this one up here I liked. Let me see. There we go. So this was a good one. And so we'll export this one. That's a TIFF also. So now we've got, let me go over here and open up Evoto. So Evoto is the AI editor. It does a really good job, but it can be very heavy-handed. So if you got to use it really sparingly. You don't do like super smooth skin, like takeaway features, things like that. Like you want to make sure that it is a light touch. So in Evoto, we're going to go with a new session, a new library. So we go back to library. We're going to create a new project, which is this plus button. So create project. Name this Travis. Come on. Selesky. Create it, and then what we're going to do is just drag and drop the TIFF files into here. So we're going to grab those, and we're going to drag them in, and now we're in a different editor. So the way that I use this one is that there's a couple presets on the left side that prep the image and get it ready for editing. It's like a baseline. And so for photos like this, I use Lifestyle Portrait as the preset. And so you can see it already did some adjustments. So if you want to see what the before and after is, hold the space bar and you can see how much it adjusted. So probably too much. I don't want him super baby smooth. That's not the plan. So over on this right side is where you make your actual adjustments. So just like Lightroom and Capture One, you've got color adjustments here, exposure, all of that. But we should be good on those because they're coming out edited. But then your AI adjustments are over here. So this is where you just go through the list. Like the blemish removal, we don't want to take away all of his skin texture. So we want to leave the freckles if there's freckles. And we want to leave a little bit of texture even if there is a little bit of acne, because that's, you know, who the kid is. But we want to take a little bit of it away. So there's multiple places where the skin gets smooth. This is one of them. If they've got shiny face, you can pump that up and it just kind of mattes the face. Dark circles under the eyes, it'll do that. It'll actually do glasses glare, so it'll remove glare from lights, which is really cool. I don't know what it'll do. Sunglasses, yeah, it just pulled down the sunglasses so it darkens them up so there's no reflection in them. But I like the reflection, so we're keeping it. Double chin, this is a big one. So the jawline and right under here. So for headshots and stuff, I usually crank this up pretty good. It just adds a little bit of shadow under there, so you got some texture. It's got some fine tuning for intensity and things like that. And how it plays with it, how dark the shadow is or deep the shadow is. So you can move those around. It'll take every wrinkle off the face. So play with it, get a picture, play with it, see what it does. If we're shooting full body, it'll take body blemishes off. It'll actually remove tattoos, which is kind of cool. So it'll take full sleeves off of people. And then the other spot for skin retouching is in here. And this is more like traditional skin retouching with dodge and burn and curves. But the one that I watch for is the skin softening. So this is that gauge and blur kind of effect on the skin. And I don't really like it all that much. So I tend to leave that very, very low, very subtle. And then the skin softening here is kind of the same thing. It does another layer, another level of it. For beauty stuff, it works okay, but I still like to have the pores and the texture. Again, glossiness, texture, you can add clarity back into the skin. Then the skin tone, you can unify so if you got makeup like hard lines on contours, you can smooth that out. Same with body complexion, so tan lines, it'll remove tan lines. And then it'll do different effects. So you can actually put a tan on somebody and darken them up or even them out. However, if they're very red, you can brighten them, things like that. So it's got some cool features. You can reshape the face, move the head around a little bit. It does some fun stuff. Change the shape, make them skinny or not skinny. Double clicking always resets where it's at. Sometimes lens distortion, you want to mess with that. Or if you got somebody that has an asymmetric face, like my one eye is bigger than the other and you want to even it out, you can do that. So lots of things there. Teeth, to whiten teeth. There is a teeth whitener and a flaw removal, so it'll like level up the teeth, which is pretty interesting. But again, you don't want to go too far with it. And then for the eyes, there's different things you can do there. Hair is one that I use quite a bit. So you can fill in part lines. You can get rid of, like we got a couple stray hairs there. So we can use the stray hair removal. And it doesn't do a bad job of blending. Especially when there's a soft background, it blends in pretty nice. You can give the hair a little bit of shine to it, so it's got a little pop. You smooth it out a little bit, so it's got less variation. You can change color if you want to, which is pretty wild. I haven't messed with that too much. And then you got full body reshape if that was something you were going to do. But for photos like this, where you just want a quick cleanup, this is about all I would do to edit this image. That's a complete image. with the exception of some little things, which I'll take care of when we export this. I'll go in and touch those up with Photoshop, like get the leaves out of there, do any, distraction removal. But then from here, you just hit Command C, you can copy it, and then because it can distinguish between men and women, so we have a male set on this, it will apply this across all of his images. If there was a female in there, it wouldn't apply the same setup. It would miss some of this stuff because it's looking for a male setup. It's crazy. That looks super smooth. I might reduce that just a little bit. It looks a little too smooth for me. Give it a little less, but I did shoot it straight into the light, so where'd that softener go? Get rid of that. So this is how you just kind of keep adjusting it a little bit so it looks right. I like very natural looking, realistic looking images. I don't want to change shape too much. I don't want to overproduce. It just needs to look really clean. This one I think is probably good. I might come in and hit that in post-production. But I think that one looks good. And then from there, once all your images, and so you can do this over a batch of 100 images, and it'll take a minute, but it'll do it. So then you hit export. You want JPEG full size, and we're going to tell it where to go, specific folder. This is going to go not in the TIFF folder, we're going to put it in the finals. And so we'll open that up, and we want to make sure the naming is custom file name, original file name, custom text. So the original file name we want to keep, so it's searchable. We want to put the custom text at the end that's a final image. And so from there, you just export them. And we can go into the folder now. So there's the finals. There's our images. Like I said, I want to get rid of a couple of those things. So I'm going to go, and we're going to open this up with Photoshop. I'm going to close Evoto just so I don't crush my computer. Oh, I'll do that in a minute. So in here, just because this is a simple retouch, I'm just going to lasso this and Shift Delete. It gives me the content aware, and it deletes it. So not a whole lot that needs to go into this. We're going to get rid of this little leaf right here. And this guy right over here. And that image is done. I would be fine. We might get rid of this white line here. Let me see. Just because there's not other parking lines in there. Get rid of this one. I don't like how it did that. So we're going to take it and we're going to drag it this way. Oh, no. Go to this tool. Drag it in there to give it some texture, or up there to give it some texture. I think it's going to go over here. No, it doesn't like it, so we'll just go as close as we can to it. So we may do that a couple times to get the texture right. Yeah, and I'm good with that. So that image is good there, so we'll save that. Close it down. Then the other one I just wanted to retouch was, let's get this one here. It's got a parking stop in the back. Right here, just this little distraction we're going to get rid of. Save that. And oh, that was one thing that I forgot to show you on here, is that it's got a clothing tool on it too. So you can actually go through and de-wrinkle the clothing. So it will smooth out clothing wrinkles. It'll de-blemish it. So if there's dust or marks on it or anything like that, it just cleans it up, makes it look nice. So be another one there. So you can see before and after, just a little bit on that one. This one had a little bit more. So smooths it just a little bit is all. And then let's see, that last one was here. Open with. So Evoto, though, when you use it, it charges credits for exports. It won't charge us, like if I went back in, I did that one retouch over here, it won't charge me to re-export this, but if we delete it out and re-add the TIFF file, it treats it like a new file. So be very careful with that because it does cost a decent bit. It costs about 10 cents per image. So I don't want to run through a bunch of them. But as long as you're in Evoto, you can continue to edit and export it, and it doesn't charge for that. So let's see. So let's do that. Get rid of that little guy. So you can see too that what's nice is that even coming out of Evoto with the retouching is we didn't lose all the pores. We didn't lose the skin texture or any detail like that. It's not plastic. It actually turned out pretty good. So that is the full process. So from the capture folder, this is the folder structures. You got your capture folder. We go through and rename. Then we do the metadata, then red and green. And then out of the greens, you do 5 and 3 to determine which one's going to be the best picture. Out of those, so the 5-star greens, we go through and we do our individual edits. And I try and edit them by scene or by batch. So for example, the ones that were all in the woods have the same edit style. So I did the same edit style on all of these all the way through. And then when we switched to the car, I did the same edit style through the car, just so there's a consistency in it. So the adjustments are the same across there, trying to get the same look. And then let me see, then we switched it up when we did the other scene with the car. It had a different look to it. And then the downtown scenes were different. So that's one of the things that I want to maintain is getting good consistency across the sets. So each set looks like it belongs together, like it's a full package. So I would watch for that. Then once you have those edited, everything's leveled up. Export JPEGs for the proofs. Those will go to the client for the client to select the ones that they want. And then once they select, we will go from there, do another edit on them or refinement to the TIFFs, and then into Evoto, export that and deliver it to the client. So that is the workflow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this whole folder for you to play with. I'm going to get rid of all the reds, all the throwaways. I'll get rid of those. And that way you'll have RAWs and JPEGs to look at and practice with. So that's the setup. Hopefully that is helpful to you. And if you have questions, just ask me. Obviously, I'm here to help. So I want to get you dialed in. Thanks.